So let's finally describe what a function is. So let me get the nice white. So what is a function? Now let's write down a extremely simple function, which we have y using x equals 2x. Now, let me explain a very important thing. Now, y and x are variables. So x and y are called variables. Yeah, simply, it can basically be any kind of number. Now, one is independent and what is dependent. What is very important is that in this case, the x variable is independent. That means that I can plug in, let's say, x equals 2, and x will stay x equals 2. It doesn't depend on anything. However, the y variable right here, yeah, and this is also written as, let's say, we very often just simply skip this bracket part, yeah, this green bracket part, we kind of skip, and we just write y equals 2x. The point is that our y is the dependent variable. Dependent variable because it depends on the x variable. So let's explain a little bit how we can, let's say, calculate what's the y value. So let's say we have evaluate the function, yeah, at x equals 2. So our question is, what is the value of y at this specific point? Yeah, at this specific point, what is the value of y? Now, we simply substitute, that is the correct term, the variable x with the number. So we go with number 2. Yeah, we define number 2, we plug in the number 2. 2 means that the x becomes the number 2 right here. Yeah, this becomes 2. So it is 2 multiplied by, because, well, this is multiplication, multiplied by the green 2 that we're plugging in from here. 2 times 2 equals 4. And that's the function value at x equals 2. So let's try one more. Let's go with minus 3. Okay, minus 3. We are asking what is the y value at this point? This is properly written as putting a bracket and putting minus 3. Let's go with a red since it's negative. Minus 3, and it goes minus 3 equals. And now we continue on with writing the number 2 from 2 times x. And here it's really important is that I'll put an exclamation mark, or I'll draw one. It's very important that when we're putting negative numbers, we have to use brackets. Please use brackets. What do I mean? I mean that properly we add, I'll put it in green. We add brackets and we plug in our number, our negative number inside when we're multiplying. So it's 2 times minus 3, which is minus 6. So essentially, this is how evaluating a function works. Now, sometimes, well, most of the time, these functions are not really exactly that simple. So what we can do is we'll write down a couple of more slightly complex functions. Let's start with the square root. So let's say we have square root of, let's go with x plus 5, yeah? All I'm saying is that you'll give me a number for x, and we will plug it in and we'll see what's the result. Okay, so again, our independent variable is right here, and our dependent variable is our y. So let's plug in the number x, for example, x equals 4, so that it's reasonable. Yeah, so I go y, I write the bracket, the number 4 goes inside, we write down the square root, x from here becomes the number 4, yeah, plus 5, and we see that 4 plus 5 is 9, and that is a nice 3. So at this point, it is the value 3. Let's do one more. For example, if we would ask the question, hey, what is the result let's go with, again, with the blue, let's go with a minus 5. Yeah, what is the value at minus 5? Y minus 5 equals, again, instead of x, we plug in minus 5. Now we're not doing multiplication. The result is simply a square root of 0, and the square root of 0 is simply 0. So sometimes we can have various kinds of functions, which will be in the following videos, such as there are sines, there are cosines that we can evaluate. There will be, for example, some fractions. So, for example, like so. And also we'll have some logarithms, which later we will definitely explain in the upcoming videos. Evaluating functions always works the same way as shown in this video.